All right, everyone. This is Paul Henderson, president of Pro Travel Network. We're ready to get started with tonight's booking hotels and booking car training call. And let's just jump right in. The good news on this call, we're probably going to finish up early. Um, and so let's just jump right into it and get this knocked out. I think the most important thing, if you've had a chance to listen to the other training calls, and this is one of the reasons why this call is on the very tail end, is because once you've taken the other training calls, once you get to booking hotels and booking cars, these are the easiest to book. There's really nothing as easy as booking a hotel or booking a car. But the most important thing about booking hotels and booking cars, and I want you to write this down, is don't forget to do it. Don't forget to do it. Sometimes we get so caught up in booking travel and really focusing on airfare because it seems to be so dominant within the industry, or booking a cruise or booking a vacation package. Many times we forget to get the rental car. Unfortunately, rental cars, because there's so many companies and there's so many cars, rental car companies tend to pay some of the lowest commission rates in the industry. And so the average commission rates you're going to get from Hertz and Avis and Alamo and those types of companies is about 5% commission. So you're not going to make a very large commission on rental cars typically. But you know what? That's actually made up for the fact that they're so easy to book. You can make a rental car booking literally in 60 seconds, whether you do it online or whether you do it by phone. It is so easy and so simple to make rental car bookings. It's incredible. But again, most people forget to book it. I mean, think about it. Those of you who have booked travel, how many times have you booked somebody's flight or you booked a trip for somebody and you just didn't think to ask, by the way, how are you getting from the airport to whatever destination you're going to? How are you going to do that? How are you getting from, the airport to your resort? How are you getting from airport to airport? And a lot of times, these travelers, they get off their plane and they go right to the rental car counter and they rent themselves a car. They don't even think about it as something that you can earn commission on. But make no mistake, you absolutely can earn commission on travel bookings. On car rental bookings. You just have to remember to ask for it. And what it is, it actually becomes an added value to your actual booking. So don't think of it as, it's going to be a small commission. Think of it as it's extra commission. It's just commission that you're going to miss out on. Hertz is going to keep that commission, or Dollar's going to keep that commission, or Enterprise is going to keep that commission. That commission belongs to you. But it's only going to belong to you if you don't forget to ask your customer, okay, what else do we need to do here? We've got your flight done. Do you need a rental car? And many times they'll say, yes, and it gets booked very simply. One of the neat things about rental cars is almost in all cases, they're always booked at retail. That means that it doesn't matter who they go through. It doesn't matter whether they go directly with Hertz or Avis or whoever. They're not going to get a better rate than you're going to get them. They're all quoted at retail. So, if they go directly through Hertz, they're not going to get any discounts, just going to keep you from getting a commission. And really, it's shame on you because you should ask those questions. So when you're booking travel, you want to make sure that you book all the travel. Think of everything as a package. We talked about that last night. We talked about the or I guess it was a couple nights ago maybe. We talked about the booking vacations and how that's a package deal. Well, guess what? When you're booking when you're booking car, you have to think of everything as a package. If you put a hotel with a rental car, it's now a package. But you have to make that happen. And if you don't, it's just letting money go out the window. So they're going to get that rental car anyway. Rental cars are very easy to book. We've already talked about that. There are 3 ways that a person can get a rental car. Now, with airfare, today you can only pay in full up front. You can't hold airfare. You can't put a deposit on airfare. If you're booking an airfare, you either pay for it or it's not ticketed, one or the other. Rental car is a little bit different. You're actually allowed to pay for a rental car A couple different ways. The first way is on a guarantee. Now, this is different than any other component that we've discussed in the training calls so far. Everything thus far, you've either had to put a cash deposit on your credit card or check, or you pay it in full, and it's done. With rental cars, you can actually put a guarantee. That means you can simply put your credit card number up, and they don't even put a charge on it. It's just your guarantee that you're going to take that rental car. And if the customer doesn't show up, it's no big deal. The credit card is not charged. It's just used to help guarantee the reservation. But if you don't show up, nothing happens. Okay? Excuse me. So rental cars can be booked with a credit card guarantee. Now, that guarantee means if it's within a certain amount of time, if it's the night before, they might charge you 1 day or something like that. But you can get a rental car even with no guarantee. You can book a rental car for someone without any credit card in some cases. And if they don't show up, they just don't show up. But again, the rental car companies have so many cars, they're not really worried about it if someone's plane doesn't show up and they miss their rental. And it's good for your customer because he's not locked into it. If he shows up late or decides he doesn't want that particular car, or somebody calls and says, hey, I'll pick you up at the airport instead, he doesn't even have to call the rental car company and tell them. It just automatically cancels. So, again, that's how simple rental car bookings are. You can also pay them in full. Now, you can pay them in full through back office providers like CCRA and some others where you can actually book rental cars, 1 minute booking, where you're looking at a supplier who actually does rental cars, and you can actually maybe sometimes make a little bit more commission, get that paid in full. But again, if the customer doesn't show up, typically that commission is going to be reversed because that's just the way that the car industry is. So I think the biggest thing that you need to know when it comes to rental cars is the fact that, again, that business is big business. Everybody's renting cars. I mean, I rent a car all the time, but agents forget about it. And they forget about it because maybe it's not the big part of the booking. I mean, you could think about it. A guy's going to book a flight someplace and spend $1,000, and you forget to pop his rental car. You know, I was in Hawaii not too long ago, and as a travel agent, you know that everybody that goes to Hawaii gets a rental car. I mean, many times it's part of the vacation package. But as I was getting off the plane, you hear people talking about, so how are we going to get to here to there? And they just walked right to the rental car. That means the person that booked their trip forgot to get them the rental car, and they're going to need it for an entire week. You can't even get around in Hawaii without a rental car, especially in islands like Maui or Kauai, something like that. You've got to have a rental car. So, you know, it's we as agents, either we're untrained or we just forget about it, but that's extra money. It's extra money that we're missing out on. So what I want to do right now is let's just go to the back office very, very quickly, and let's take a look at the rental car companies and, you know, show you how simple it is to book a rental car. So we click on the agent login. We simply go in here and we type in, you know, our agent number. Type in the password, your password, and it's going to take us to our travel back office. We're going to go directly to cars or auto. We click on there, and immediately we come to, you know, all the rental car companies. And you have a choice of Hertz, Auto Europe, if it's international, Avis, Alamo, Dollar, Budget, Thrifty. I mean, all the major rental car companies, they're all there. And you just choose the one you want. Hertz obviously is the big one. And, you know, why is Hertz at the top? Are they any better than anybody else? Well, it depends. Obviously, a lot of people are with Hertz. They may have the equivalent of frequent flyer numbers with Hertz or whatever they call, you know, their rewards program. They may want to go with Hertz. They may want to go with somebody else. Doesn't make a difference. You pick the company that you want. You simply call in, use this number right here, 1-800-654-3131. Tell them you have a reservation for a customer. They're going to ask you, what is your IATA number? You simply give them this number right here. They're going to pull it up in their system that you're with Pro Travel Network, and you simply say, yeah, my customer is flying into Chicago, and they'd like to have a car from this day to this day, and they'll ask you what kind of car, and do you have a credit card to guarantee the booking? Yes, I do, and it's done. It's really just that simple. If you want to do it online, you can click the Hertz icon and then simply type in that same IATA number. IATA is the number that allows them to know that you're a travel agent, and with the company that has a contract with them, you simply type that number in right here and click login, and you're ready to go. And you simply make the booking online for your customer. It really is that simple. It's really just an amazingly simple thing to do. And that system works the same way with all the other major providers. You can do it by phone or over the internet. So again, in recapping, booking car, and believe it or not, we're already done with that section. It's just a matter of not forgetting that car can be a very, very important part of your package. Let's think about this for a second. If you took all the trips that you booked and you added a car to each one, how much more money would you have made at the end of a year? It probably ends up being a lot of money. Okay? So even though it may not seem like a lot of money per booking, don't forget to book the car. Somebody else is going to get your commission. All right? And we don't want Hertz to make any more money off of us. All right? They make enough money. We want to get a piece. That's the reason we got in the travel business, so that we could part a little bit of that money off for ourselves. All right, so let's move on to the hotel booking part of the call. And really, it's very, very similar. That's why I said this call is going to be very, very easy, and we'll get through it very, very quickly. The booking hotels is almost the same as booking car. Booking hotels is probably the simplest thing you'll ever do in the travel business. You can simply pick up the phone, call the Hilton Hotel or the Sheraton or the Hyatt or any major hotel chain and simply say, hey, my name is Paul Henderson. I'm a travel agent. They're going to say, well, what's your IATA number? You simply give them that number. And, again, that number is here for whichever provider you use, depending on which we use with the provider. Sometimes we use the IATA. Sometimes we use the CLIA. It just depends how we signed up with that provider initially, but all the numbers that you need are always right here, one of those two numbers. And they'll ask you which one that they need to make the booking. And then you simply call it in. I have a customer that wants to stay at your hotel from this day to this day. What's the rate? Great. His name is, he'd like a king bed, blah, 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 blah. And here's his credit card number. It's just that simple. They're not going to charge the credit card. It's simply a credit card guarantee. As long as the customer cancels before, generally 1 or 2 days before he's supposed to show up, it's no big deal, So hotel bookings are extremely simple to make. However, again, we always forget hotel bookings. You might say, well, I don't forget my hotel booking. We do it all the time. We book flights for people, and if you guys remember the steps that we talked about, that's steps 1 through 7, 1 through 6. If you follow those steps, you won't forget the hotel. I know in Pro Travel, we book thousands of flights, air only. My question is, where are those people staying once they arrive where they're going? Are they getting a rental car? Are they staying in a hotel? I guarantee you, in the majority of those cases, those customers actually land, go get their own hotel, and go get their own car. And since hotel bookings and car bookings are almost always retail, the customer can never get a better deal than what you would have given them. It's just we're not asking. We're just taking the customer at his word, and we're being order takers, and we're not actually following through with the steps and being a salesperson and really digging in and finding out exactly what they want, what their needs are, not only asking them about the flight that they want, but, hey, by the way, what are you going to do when you get to Chicago? Really? Okay, so you're going to be there a week, so it's business. All right, okay. So did you have a hotel? Are you going to stay near the convention? We don't even ask those questions because we're not trained to do that. But hopefully you've been on these calls this week and you're starting to understand that on every booking you want to create the conversation so that you can determine exactly what that customer needs, and you want to be the person that takes care of all of it. You want to take care of their flight, their rental car, their hotel. If they want to go on excursions, you want to take care of that too. If they want to go take in a concert, you can do that too. If they want to go to a basketball game, you can do that too. You want to be their one-stop shop. And if you're really good and you really practice and you really work those steps 1 through 7, the customer will be very, very happy to let you do it because it's going to sound like it's what you do. But you've got to start that process. You've got to develop a habit. Once you build a habit in something and you continue to do it, it becomes part of who you are, and people can then pick up on that and perceive that. And guess what? It becomes powerful for you. They sense that you care. They sense that you know what you're doing. But you've got to start right now. If you make some mistakes, if you stumble and fumble, no big deal. You don't want to be stumbling and bumbling when you get that $100,000 deal. You might as well do it now on your friends with their little bitty $100 and $500 and $1,000 deals. When you get that person who's got a $50,000 booking, you want to be a pro, right? So go ahead and get your mess ups out of the way. It's okay to mess up. They don't know you're messing up anyway because they don't know the business. So just get out there and work those steps. Practice conversating with people, getting to know them. Ask those qualifying questions. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back, get the Sales and Marketing 101 training. All the trainings will be up next week. They may not be Monday or Tuesday because we're still doing some editing. Every time I coughed, they have to take that out. And if I paused, they've got to take that out. And if my kids were yelling in the background, they've got to cut that out because these are live calls. Because I'm just a regular person just like you. I've got kids. I get the flu. But I'm just committed to Pro Travel Network, and I want to try to transfer that to you so that you really see that this can be a business that you can make a tremendous amount of money. You can create a tremendous amount of satisfaction for yourself. And like many of our agents, they're booking hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Now you take that amount and multiply that by 15% commission or higher. You can make some serious money in this industry. And what I believe I'm on a mission to do is to prove that you can get in the travel business and make real income. You can make just as much as that guy selling mortgages. You can make just as much as anybody else in any type of sales, and you're in an industry where people actually want to hear you call because you're talking about vacations and trips and travel, and that's what everybody wants to do. So, again, don't forget to do the steps. Qualify, find out everything about that customer and what they want to do, and be the person that takes care of them and get the commission that you deserve because you're going to earn it. All right? So hotels. Hotels probably should be the number one thing that you book. When we look at your back office, you should probably have more hotel bookings than anything else because people stay in hotels for all kinds of reasons. I've stayed in hotels in my own city. Well, Paul, why would you stay in a hotel in your own city? Well, sometimes I just want to go stay in a hotel with the wife. Maybe we just want to get away for a night. Maybe you go to an event that's at a hotel and you just want to be a part of the function. Maybe your company is doing an event at a hotel. That happens all the time. So people actually stay in hotels in their own city. People stay in hotels when they travel. People stay in hotels even when they're driving. So you might have people that are doing driving vacations where they may not even be booking the air, but you can still pick up the hotel stay. Let's talk about some other ways you can get hotel bookings and car bookings. Let's say you book a cruise for someone. So many agents forget to take care of the pre and post. Typically when I fly, let's say I'm taking a cruise and it's leaving from Miami. I'm going to fly to Miami. The cruise boards at about noon, so I want to get there the night before. Guess what? I need a hotel. What if I want to cruise around Miami for the next morning? I might need a rental car. So right there, in addition to your cruise booking, you've picked up 2 other bookings to go along with it. And of course, that's going to help you get to Iatan and farther. Lots of benefits. You want to pick up every single booking. How about a post? They get back from the cruise. Hey, Miami itself is a great travel destination. There are people who just want to go to Miami for a vacation, or LA, or any of the major ports of calls. So every time you book a cruise, you should be able to get the pre and the post, both rental car and hotel. Make sure you make a note of that. That's very, very important on cruises. Even on vacation packages, many times people come back from their vacation. If the plane isn't landing with the perfect itinerary, and many times it doesn't, you might be able to actually pick up, again, a pre and post. Okay, so always remember that you're always looking to maximize every single booking. That's very, 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 very important. All right, so let's move on and let's talk about how you actually book a hotel. Well, you book a hotel the exact same way that you book a car. You simply call Choice Hotels. Now, Choice lists all the properties that we all know and love, like Sleep Inn, the Clarion, um, and I'll wait for this to open so we can see some of the other ones. The Quality Inn, Comfort Suites. I mean, they all these different hotel chains are all part of Econo Lodge, Roadway Inn. That's the Choice Hotels. You simply go in. If you see right here, you put in your IATA number or our CLIA number. I didn't remember which one it was, and it allows you to make the booking. Okay, it was the CLIA number. Or you can call it in. Wyndham, same thing. You can book all the Wyndham resorts. Just simply click on it, or you can call in, and you can book with any Wyndham property anywhere in the world. Just put in your travel agent IATA number, click sign in, and you're ready to go. All right? Or you can call the booking in. Makes no difference. All right? So it's very simple to book hotels. Now, I do want to cover something, and that is that most hotels, you can write this down, pay 10% commission. Write that down. Almost in all cases, 99.9% of the cases, hotels will pay you a flat 10%. You can't get more, and generally it's not going to be less. Okay? So vacations are going to pay you more. Cruises are going to pay you more. Airfare, you can mark it up and make as much as you want. Hotels is a flat 10%. Cars is a flat 5%, generally speaking. So the good news is that you can book hotels two ways. You can book them either retail or you can book them net. Retail means, again, for those that haven't heard this conversation, retail means that whatever price the hotel gives you for your customer is the same price they would give the customer. It's the same price they're going to give the agent down the street. There are no different prices. It's the same price. Well, Paul, what if the customer has a AAA card or a corporate rate? It doesn't matter. All you have to do is tell them that, and they're going to quote you that same rate. All right, so it doesn't mean that you can't still make the booking. Whatever rate the customer is going to get, you can still book it and still get a commission based on that rate. All right, now that I've covered that, there's another way to book hotels, and that's net. So now with hotels, you can book retail. Again, that's at 10% commission, and that's booking it directly through the supplier. Choice, Wyndham, Hilton, Starwood, Sheraton, Westin, Omni, Best Western, Hyatt, Holiday. I mean, we can just go on and on and on and on and on. Booking it directly, you're going to get 10% commission. However, if you book it through Fairbuzz, this is a consolidator. They go out and they're able to buy space from the hotel in advance. Hey, we're willing to buy this many rooms from you if you give us a discount. Now, the rules are that the hotel simply says, well, that's great. That means I don't have to sell as many rooms and I don't have to deal with as many vacancies, all right, because no hotel is going to be full every single night of the year. So they say, okay, Fairbuzz, okay, CCRA, okay, Huntington Travel, we'll sell you those rooms, but you can't sell it directly to the public. You've got to sell it through travel agents. So as travel agents, we get to go into Fairbuzz. We can click on it, and we can go find consolidator rates that are sometimes cheaper than the actual retail rate, and then we can mark it up whatever we want. We can mark it up to the retail. We can mark it up over the retail, whatever we feel that we can get and make a fair deal with our customer. All right? Very, very simple to do. In fact, let's just do one really, really quick here. So I'm going to go to Fairbuzz. I'm going to open it up. Let's just say I want to go to, well, I was going to type in Los Angeles. All right, we're going to go to L.A. Going to check in the 20th, check out on the 27th. Going to stay there a week, one room. Hotel rating, I want a nice hotel, so I want 4 stars or higher. Search. Excuse me. All right, pulls up some hotels. And what I'm going to do now is I am just going to just find one, and I'm going to book it. Not going to spend a lot of time. There's lots of different hotels. I'm going to book the Hilton at the airport. So I'm going to click on it. I'm just going to grab the cheapest room because I just want to stay there for a couple nights and get on out of town. You see how fast this is? I mean, it's so simple to book hotels. So I've got a room at $81 a night, $570. I get to add my commission. Here are the taxes on the room. Now, generally when you book hotels, they have lots of taxes, unfortunately. So you're paying tax on the whole rate. And I just simply go in here and I want to make, you know, if I put 10% commission, I can make $57, but I'm just going to put, you know, $100. I'll make $100 in this booking. Okay. So what it does, oops, it's charging me $100 per night. Uh-oh. I don't want to make $100 per night. Let me go back. I want to make $100 total. So what I want to do is I want to make, so it's $81 a night. 10% commission would be $8. So let's say I just want to make $15 a night. All right? You just type in 15, and it has $881. And then from there, you simply go down and you book it. You put the customer's name, their credit card information, and you book that hotel. You put your name at the bottom, and you're done. It's that simple. That's how easy it is to book. And that's booking net, where you can make more commission than the standard 10%. And many times, these rates are actually cheaper than the actual hotel rates themselves. Not in all cases, because again, on consolidators, it depends on when they buy. Sometimes a consolidator buys from a hotel and they think it's a great rate, and then later on the hotel runs a special or something. So you can't always guarantee that. That has nothing to do with pro travel. That's just an understanding as an agent how the whole system works. So sometimes the retail booking might be cheaper, but again, if you do the steps, it doesn't matter. You're going to know what the customer is willing to spend. I mean, typically a customer expects to pay more than $81 a night, so I wouldn't even worry about it. In this particular deal, I quote the customer $125 a night. That's what I would expect to pay to stay at a Hilton, you know, near the airport. So, I mean, hotels can be a great source of revenue. You've just got to remember to always get the hotel and, of course, always get the car. Now, CCRA is very, very similar. CCRA, you simply go in and you can actually pull different rates. So you can pull, for the Hilton, for example, you'll get the retail rate. You can book that. You'll get the net rate. You can book that. You'll get like a corporate rate. You can book any rate you want. You just choose the one that you want, and you can book it for your client. So it really gives you a neat package or a suite of various rates that you can book for each particular hotel that they have. So that's neat too. You can make a decision whether you want to book retail or net. Now, for Canadian agents, you have the same exact thing. I love booking through Huntington when it comes to Canadian agents. Now, Canadian agents can book the same way. You can book through Fairbuzz, mark it up. You can book through Huntington and mark it up. You can book through CCRA and mark it up. Or you can do retail and book it through the suppliers, which obviously is the easiest. There's no markup. Your customer's never going to find a better deal, anything like that. But if you want to do a little more, take a little more time with it, you can make a lot of commission booking through these three. Let's just use Huntington, for example. This is for Canadian agents. You simply go in, and actually I forgot to grab that information. Hold on one second. I need this information here. I just put that in. Type in the password, PTN1, and it should let me right in. Did I hit submit? Oh, okay. Actually, I want to go back for just a second. Okay. Let's go ahead and put PTN1. All right. Very, very simple. Same thing. All you do is type in a destination. Let's just go with Toronto. And let's go with check-in of, and that's pretty far away for a hotel stay. Most people don't book hotels that far in advance. And that's another great thing about hotels. Typically people book hotels. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. That is close. I'm looking at it opposite. In Canada, they do the dates difference. That's actually February the 6th. So let's change the date, though. Let's say they want to stay next weekend. let's say the 20th through, let's do a typical hotel stay. Let's say the 20th through the 23rd, a weekend stay. That's very typical. Star rating, let's do the same thing. We want a 4 or 5 star, 1 room, 2 adults, and let's click search. Now again, very, very simple to do. Also, I want to let you guys know with Huntington, you can also book FlightsNet. You can go right here and book those FlightsNet. But Huntington's also on the flights page, so you can get it from the flights page also. So here you've got some hotels. You've got the Westin Harbor Castle, the Radisson, the Metropolitan, the Wyndham, Holiday Inn Select, Hilton. And here's what I'm going to do. Just because we've got some extra minutes and we're almost done with the call, I'm actually going to go to Travelocity, the Canadian version, and let's just see what their rates are. Now again, consolidated rates are not always the cheapest, but if you know how to work them, you just find when they are and you use those particular hotels and sell them to your customer. Typically, customers, when you're booking hotels, very seldom do they say, I want to stay at that one hotel. If you say you found a 4-star hotel at a great price, they're going to stay wherever you recommend. So if a customer says, I like the Hilton, but you find the Sheraton with the same star for a better deal and you can make more money, they're just as willing to stay at the Sheraton. So again, BookingNet sometimes requires a little bit more work, but you can make a lot more money. So let's click on hotels. And let's go with let's go to Canada. All right, destination. Oops. Toronto. That would be in Ontario. Should be here somewhere. Check in. I want to use the same dates, the 20th through the 23rd. Actually, I made a mistake. I want to go to Travelocity.ca because I want that quoted in Canadian. I know I could do a money exchange, but let's just keep it simple. Okay, flight only, hotel only. Toronto. I know some of you were telling me that telepathically. Thank you. I picked it up. All right, 1 room. Let's just say there's 2 in the room, which really doesn't matter. U.S. and Canada hotels. All right. The only thing is I can't tell it to book 4 stars. So we'll just go through it here. And we'll see what we come up with. All right. We've got several hotel properties here. And what we're going to do is let's just move this to 1, 2. Come on. There you go. All right. And let's research or search one more time. Whoops. What did I do? Oh, I'm supposed to just hit update results. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right. We've got the Sheraton Center Hotel at $151 a night. Park Hyatt $285. The Westin Harbor Castle. Now, we did see that one, didn't we? So let's flip over. And let's see what we've got there. Okay. So we've got the Westin Harbor Castle for $103 a night through Huntington, but if you go to Travelocity, it's actually $199 a night. So right off the bat, just by taking a few extra minutes to go look at the consolidator, you're going to actually save the customer. Now hear what I'm saying. You're going to be able to save the customer almost $99 a night. Now, the customer can't go to Huntington and book this. They can only go to Travelocity, Orbitz, Expedia, Hotels.com, which are all going to have the same rate. So guess what? The customer can't find this rate for 103, so there's no reason you would sell it to the customer for 103. You're going to sell it to them for 199 or more. Or maybe you might sell it to them for 189 if they say they did find it for 199. But you can actually sell it for more if you want to because it's booked at net. But think about that. For the same exact booking, you could make an extra $100 a night simply by going through Huntington. Now, the customer can't beat your rate. So not only can you give him the same rate, but you're making an extra $300. Now, if you book directly through the Westin, you're going to get a 10% commission. So let's just see what that would add up to if you booked it. If you called the Westin yourself and did a retail booking, which is the same as this rate right here, you would get a total for 3 nights of $693. 10% commission on that would be $69 Canadian. That would be your commission. All right? But let's say we did the same thing with Huntington. The same 3 nights at the exact same hotel. You've got a rate of $311.64 Canadian. You simply put the customer's name, the customer's last name. You simply go down here where it says option. You don't have to remember what that is because we don't do any options at Pro Travel. Just click no. All right. And you put your name. It already knows you're with Pro Travel Network. You don't change that. You put the customer's billing information. You click agree. It's going to take you, click here. In fact, let's just go ahead and put it in so we can walk through it. Let's just say my name is PH. Customer's name is JH. Phone, that's optional. I agree. And let's click book. Uh-oh, won't let me do it that way. It won't let me cheat. Oh, I have to put something up here. So I'm going to put J. Maybe they'll let me sneak away with that. And let's see if I can book it. Okay. They want both people's names. All right. Let's just go. Okay. Got the names in. Got that in. Got that in. It should let me do it now. Okay. So it's going to let me do it. The exact same 3 nights. I love this. Can you guys tell I love booking travel? Okay. All right. So I go down. It's got Pro Travel Network already in there. So, it shows you that we're fully registered. And all you have to do is we've made it really easy for you. So all you have to do is go down and put in the customer's information right here, credit card information, and then put your markup in. Now, by definition, you already know that if the customer was shopping you, the best rate they can get at this hotel is $693. Imagine you can call your customer and say, "Hey, I got you that same hotel, but I'm gonna be able to save you, $50 on it, or I'm going to be able to save you whatever." You can put in $350. That's how much you want to make on it. So you can sell it to them for $661. The best rate they're going to find is $693, and you still made yourself a $350 commission on ordinarily what would have been a $60 commission had you booked at retail. Amazing. And you can do that with the consolidators. I think I've done it all tonight. I think I've done a great job. I don't know about you, but you know what? We're done with the call. Other than always remember, when you book, whether it's through the consolidator or whether it's retail, always make sure to enter that booking into your client management system as soon as you're done with that. And that's right here, new bookings. You simply go in, you put in the supplier. One other thing I do need to cover before we close out the call. Make sure that when you're using the client management system, this is your accounting system. You can't get paid unless you put the booking in here. Hotel only. Remember, the supplier is always the company you booked it through. So even though in this particular scenario, the actual hotel is the Westin Harbor Castle, they're not the supplier. Huntington is. Huntington's going to send you the check. Later on in the process, it'll ask you the hotel, and the actual hotel's confirmation number. But make sure right here you always put the supplier who's actually the entity that you booked it through. So with that, I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to get on tonight's call. That is the end of the Booking Hotels and Booking Car conference call. You can book groups with hotels. You can book meetings. You can book conventions. Just call it in. Call the staff. We'll help you with that. Always remember, the biggest mistake we make when we come to booking hotels and booking cars is we forget about it, and we forget about how much money that you can actually make booking both cars and hotels. Good night, everybody, and thank you for attending all the trainings this week.